Lily, go ahead if you would. Tell me again where you were on the camp when this lightning strike happened, and what do you remember from that day?
I don't really remember much, um, but I do remember I was on the soccer field in the sports field, and I was playing Ultimate Frisbee with two other kids.
And do you remember what was the next thing you remember after that happened?
I don't really remember what happened after, but the next thing I knew, I was in a room with adults that were wearing like uniforms, blue and white and green, and they were pushing my chest, and I felt a little shocked, and then I woke up.
Hmm. Jason and Michelle, what do you remember from that day and the first notification that you got of what had happened, and what do you remember from that?
Well, Jason was out of town on an airplane, so I received a phone call at home and from the hospital, from a social worker from the hospital.
What did that social worker say, Michelle?
Well, she told me that they had Lily at the hospital, and that no, I don't know how. I can't really talk so much about it, but they told me they had Lily, and that they had that she had been struck by lightning, and that she was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine that's got to be every parent's nightmare to get a phone call. Your child goes away to camp, and you get a phone call from the hospital saying that she was there. I'm sure you were extremely upset and probably very nervous at that time.
Very.
Mm-hmm. Very nervous.
What?
I was still on an airplane coming back from a business trip, and when I landed, I knew there was something that had happened in between takeoff and landing. Just with the number of phone calls and text messages that I had from various people, seeing if I was okay, and see how Lily was. And that was kind of the first indication that I had that something had happened. And Michelle was waiting for me at the airport to pick me up and tell me what had happened, and for us to drive immediately to Indianapolis.
So you got on the car in your home there in Chesterfield, and then you got on the car and you drove here to Indy. Did you go straight to the hospital, I'm assuming?
Absolutely. Barely had time to pack. Just threw whatever I could get my hands on and got to the airport. Jason was landing very shortly, and got there and just in time to pick him up and go.
Do you remember when you were first able to talk to Lily in the hospital, your first conversation with her, and what you talked about?
Lily's very funny. She's the forever optimist, and we knew that she's always high spirited. And so she looked at us and she said, "Mom, Dad, I survived the lightning strike. I'm happy." So,
right, it was obvious when we got there that she was lucid and she knew what had happened already to her, what she had been through. And you didn't remember.
She doesn't remember, but right, those were her words. So
it almost sounds like Lily was putting the two of you at ease as opposed to vice versa.
Pretty much.
Most certainly.
That's quite a response there. When you did have that first conversation in the hospital with Lily, and you said she was lucid and she was talking to you, what were the doctors telling you at that time about some of the things that they were looking for, that they were concerned about?
really we were talking about what kind of the trauma that had happened and how she had already progressed to really a good, stable position, and what we were just kind of what we needed to be careful to watch for in the future, and talking really longer term what follow-up care was going to be like.
And Jason, what did the doctors tell you about things to look for, and what kind of signs to keep in touch with?
I mean, just to keep monitoring her for all the different developmental things that would generally progress for a preteen girl. Where she is neurologically, and just to have follow-ups with additional specialists in the future.
Lily, it looks like you're doing really well, and what was your favorite part about being at the camp there, and how are you feeling?
My favorite part about being at camp was turning the plates over to eat the pie. And the pie was really good on the back of the plate.
You look like you're feeling great. You're back to normal and ready to go, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me ask Jason and Michelle this. Do you have a message to the other campers there, especially the counselors who came to help and were first on the scene there, and how important that was?
We are so incredibly grateful to the first responders. Without them, the outcome certainly would not have been the same. And we are forever, our hearts are forever with them. And the camp responded so phenomenally. And they have a special place with us. So, and we've already set up a fund to help called the
Miracle Kids Medical and Rescue Fund.
Okay.
The goal of the fund is to provide the medical equipment, training, and resources necessary for continuity and in perpetuity for the camp and for campers.
To help, because of how wonderfully trained those first responders were, we wanted to continue with that. Mm-hmm. So we're forever grateful.
Have you had a chance to talk to any of those first responders yet?
We got to meet them in the hospital, and we are going to continue a relationship with them, for sure.
How can people that want to donate, or how can people contribute to the fund that you set up?
The fund is up and running and receiving contributions at the care of the URJ Gucci Summer Camp at 9349 Moore Road in Zionsville, Indiana. The zip code there is 46077.
So people can go online right now, and they can. Is it through like Facebook, or how have you got that set up?
Right now, it's just through sending your donations to the camp. That's additional things that we're working on with the camp to set up additional sources and methods of funding. We just are, since this just happened, we are doing everything we can to get it up and running, but at the same time while taking care of our daughter and the other two families taking care of their children as well. Right, we're doing it with the other families.
So speaking of the other families, have you had a chance to talk to the parents of those children as well?
Regularly.
We stay in contact with them all the time, and we've forged a very close bond with those families. And we feel like we have a new family of families among the three kids.
So Lily, let me ask you this. You'd planned to be at camp for a while, but you're not at camp now because of what happened. But what do you plan to do the rest of this summer?
I'm planning to play with my friends and do home camp with my parents.
Yeah.
It's like homeschool, only different.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, listen, I want to thank you, all of you, for joining us here today. And Lily, good luck the rest of the summer. And what grade are you going to be in the fall? Do you remember?
I'm going to be in 4th grade.
4th grade. Awesome. Looking forward to it?
Yes, I am.
All right. Jason and Michelle, anything else you guys want to add at this point?
I don't think so.
This is for
Listen,
everybody. All right.
we are very, very blessed and grateful for all of the prayers and all of the outpouring of love that we have received from the Indianapolis community and the communities in which we live. It's humbling. So thank you very, very much.
You make our hearts feel so happy.
You do. So thank you
Thank
for
you.
that.
Well, thank you all for joining us today. Have a great rest of the day and rest of the summer.
Thank you, you too.